Good morning. What a film. Thank you very much for that video. And I asked myself, why am I leaving this afternoon? Why? I should be staying for another week at least. But thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me to be here this morning. And before I begin, there's just a little bit something about me too. So working for Hilton, I'm in charge of our two luxury brands, Waldorf Astoria and Conrad. I'm also in charge of our newly launched lifestyle brand called Canopy. But I do travel for a living. I'm on the road a lot. And in fact, last year, I spent 286 nights in a hotel, Airbnb, a boutique, or an apartment. 286 nights. And people always ask me, but Tim, you're married. What does your wife think about that? And I said, well, she loves to drop me off at the airport. It's picking me back up that I'm not so sure about. But I did ask her, I said, are you okay with me traveling? And she said, I'm really happy 286 nights a year. Sorry, that's just a joke. I think it's just a joke, but I'm not sure. So I want to talk to you this morning about two things, really. And one of them, the first, is just a little bit about the background, about what we did as a company for launching our Canopy brand. And our first Canopy was actually opened here in July of 2016. So it's our first Canopy hotel, the Canopy Reykjavik. And I want to give you the background because I think it's important and I think it really dives into some of the things that are trending in luxury and lifestyle. And then I'm going to digress a little bit and actually get into some numbers about luxury and what I look at, what my company looks at when we look at luxury and our luxury traveler. So I'm going to jump right in and talk to you a little bit about Canopy. And Canopy for us is an accessible lifestyle brand. And it really hits the upper upscale, just really into the luxury segment a little bit. And really, for this brand, for Hilton, it was really, really important. We probably researched and did more customer focus groups than any other brand we've ever launched. And in fact, it took us over 2 years just to get that research really, really right and dialed in before we even started building canopies. And you know, we're going to be opening in the next year and a half. We'll have roughly 30 canopies opened around the world. So it's really, really quite an extraordinary brand. And I want to talk to you about the development concept because I think it's really, really important to understand where we were coming from. And when I talk about our development, when I talk about luxury travelers or lifestyle travelers, I don't talk a lot about demographics. I talk about the mindset of people. Because it's not about age, it's not about millennials and Gen Xers, it's about the mindset that people love to travel. You could be younger, you could be older, you could be somewhere in between. But it's the mindset, and we said there's really we targeted 4 different mindsets for this particular brand. You can see them here: originals, room-centrics, modern business, and cultured vacationers. And this was done by a lot of research, and we targeted those individuals because it's not about the product. It's not about the comfort of the bed. It is about the comfort of the bed, but it's not about the thread count in the sheets. It's not about how really big and beautiful the marble is. It's about the experience. And if we can connect these people to what they want, that's really luxury nowadays. That's what people are looking for. It's the experience. And when you think about that, what we did is we've had a number of different things that were going through our minds. We actually dialed into about 8 different concepts. And that was, okay, so how do you go from 8 to 1? We really did a lot of research on that. Again, a lot of focus groups. And we tested 4 different concepts. You'll see them there. They're in orange. Fresh at the bottom, tastemaker, script, and chill or thrill. And we really drilled down, and then we had focus groups, and we talked to people about why you travel, what do you want to see, what's your mindset, you know, why are you different, what would make us different. And really, we had over 100 names for one brand, just to launch one brand. We researched 100 names to come up with Canopy. And you'll ask, well, why is that important? Because the name is the brand, the color is the brand. We have to be able to make an emotional connection with our customers from the very beginning, an emotional connection. And you'll see that here. And this is really kind of a fun slide for me. You know, when we look at all of the other brands that are out there in our competition and their colors and how they speak to our different customers, what the palette is, what they're trying to say, what their script is, we wanted to break through. We wanted to break through. And that breakthrough came in the color we selected for Canopy, which was the color orange. Because it was fresh. It was forward-thinking. It resonated with customers. It was different. It brought about that natural, positive color. That's what we were told. Orange isn't for everybody, I know. But it was really quite exciting for us. And furthermore, we kind of wanted people to understand what we were doing. And it's about a positive stay. Everything we do and every interaction we have with our customers was about being positive. And we really wanted to do service a little bit different. It was guest-directed, meaning it wasn't too obtrusive. We're not talking about silver platters and white glove service. That's certainly not what we're talking about. We wanted it to be enabling for our customers. We wanted food and fitness to be there. We've opened the restaurant Gary Smart here in Reykjavik, which is really a great restaurant for us. And I think we're attracting locals. Hopefully you've been there. If not, I can take reservations for you, no problem. No problem. And it's really an exciting opportunity for us to do something a little bit different, to kind of reinvent a little bit about lifestyle. Thoughtfully local. Again, if I go back to that video about the rarity, everything we do, we wanted it to be local to make a connection for our customers. And surprisingly comfortable. So we wanted to make sure that it was delighting. So we call it the just right room. The room product has to be good. The bed does have to be comfortable. The bathroom does have to function. But those are all products. That doesn't speak to the emotional connection in the heart of the customer. So, you know, how do we take that forward? So these are some of the words that we kind of played around with and used. And the big one in front there is my colleague Gary Steffen, who actually is really a unique character in himself, says, Canopy, it's sexy. Sexy. And normally you don't describe a hotel brand as that. You don't say it's sexy. To us, it's sexy, but it's fun. It's natural. It's eclectic. And it's honest, it's energetic, you can see those words. And I wanted to really share with you, I wanted to say hello to Canopy here in Reykjavik. So for those of you that don't know, it's a beautiful hotel, the newest hotel here in Reykjavik, and I wanted to share, you know, some of the comments that are coming from our guests. We've just recently got to number 6 on TripAdvisor. It keeps going up every day. I have to change this slide. And, you know, these are some of the comments from our customers. It's not your father's Hilton. You know, they raised the bar for future brands. That's all great. But let's really dive down into what customers are actually saying about us. This is social, straight off of TripAdvisor, feedback, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And some of this is really rewarding for me personally, rewarding for our team. When somebody says to you, written, that Canopy sets a new standard, that's what we were looking to do. Best hotel in Reykjavik, I'll take it. No offense to any other hotels, but I'll take it. And then when somebody says the Hilton concept truly takes, you know, it's important and it feels like it's not your typical box Hilton. When somebody says, I love the hip and intimate vibe of this hotel, that's making a statement. And I think we're trying to connect into the community. We're trying to give that hotel experience just the way you're trying to give and open up to all of the tourists that come here to Reykjavik. And, you know, as you continue to grow, I mean, it's just amazing when you go 40% growth year over year on the number of tourists. 1.8 million last year, I think, was the number that visited here, Iceland. And that's up, 39, 40% from the year before. It's really, really outstanding. And I think when we talk about hospitality from a Canopy standpoint, those are the 4 people or 4 constituents we focus on, right? Obviously our customers, our guests, neighbors, partners, and we don't call them team members, we call them enthusiasts. So if you go to the hotel and say, I'd like to speak to somebody, you're going to speak to an enthusiast for the hotel, an enthusiast for the neighborhood, an enthusiast for the city, an enthusiast for Iceland, the country. They have to have a passion to work for us. Have to have a passion. So it's really about simply, making you feel better going forward as you go through your travel experience. And I think one of the things is, again, it's just about a positive stay. We just want you to feel positive when you stay with us. And, I told you that the brand is about sexy. Well, there's one other thing that the brand is about, and the brand is about just having fun. Just have fun. And I think we've accomplished that here with our partners, Iceland Air. It's really just, to see it, to actually feel it and live it after we opened it, it's just really, really amazing. And thanks to all of our partners here that have helped us do that. What I'd like to do now is digress a little bit from that into a little bit more about just the luxury segment a little bit. I think from a timing standpoint, I'm okay, so I want to talk to the group about specifically luxury travel and what it means to me and what I look at and what my company looks at when we talk about luxury travel. And really, we see a lot of different information, right? There's lots of studies out there, there's lots of things. One of the things I wanted to share with the audience today and you was this YouGov study, because we've commissioned this agency to do a lot of study for us in and around globally the world. So they do a study, and this is US, so they actually went into the US and really tried to dissect the consumer, right? So we're talking about affluent to uber rich. And I say rich in life. They have lots of money. It's the top 1%. And they've actually digested this a little bit more for us. They actually went globally. So they did US, and then we said, no, we're not a US company. We're a global company. We need you to travel and see what everybody around the globe is saying. So we actually went out and did another 2,500 interviews with wealthy individuals that travel. And we wanted to find out what their mindset was. And what we found, and when you see this slide, is 60% of them, their top passion was travel. Look at that slide. Millennials, Gen Xers, boomers, mature. The one thing in common, they love to travel. It's their passion. So when I talk about luxury travel, I'm talking about the mindset. I'm not talking about the age. I talk about the mindset. And they want to prioritize their spending, more importantly. They will save and they will spend on travel. It's really quite interesting. Really quite interesting. And what does the role of travel play? Why do they travel? And they travel really for a couple of different reasons. But one of them, most importantly, is that one that's circled down there, 91%. When I'm on vacation or when I travel, I want to experience something that's authentic, local culture of the destination. And I think here in Iceland, that's one of the reasons why tourism is so important. It's so growing for us, is because they can experience something that's authentic, unique, and they can get connected into the local culture. That's a very powerful thing. It's emotional. And this is kind of an interesting slide as well, because people talk about, we like to travel with our family, and yes, we do. But still, customers also like to travel without children sometimes. Maybe some of you who have children like to travel every once in a while without the kids. Raise your hand. Don't be bashful. Oh, yeah, thank you. Like to travel without the kids sometimes. Yes, we do. We like to travel with them, but sometimes we like to travel without them. And so, vacations, they're important. But it's also about connecting as a family. We want to ensure that the experience that we have when we travel is within our partners, our family, and our life. We want to be able to share that with each other. Obviously, we want to share that socially, digitally, through Facebook, through Instagram, through Twitter, through Snapchat, through all those other social medias. but we want to be able to share that with our individual families. So I did want to spend a moment or two talking about, this is a great growth here in Iceland for tourism. But I do think we have to be careful. We live in a world that's uncertain. And so there are threats to our business and to luxury travel. And one of them also, obviously, is financial security, markets, how that plays out. Please don't get me started on the election in the US because I'll be here all day. Don't want to talk about that. We're just going to move forward. But financial. And when you look at this slide, what jumps out to me is if there is financial uncertainty in the market, the first thing that customers will look at is travel. They will cut down on travel. That's the first thing that people will think about. That's a high risk for us. Very high risk, I think, for all of us. The second is time. And this, again, is an interesting slide to me when I look at it. And I look at it across those demographics of millennials, Gen Xers, boomers, and matures. Millennials really think they don't have enough time to travel. They're busy in their careers. They're trying to make it. They're trying to do so many things to grow and enrich their lives that time for them is really precious. So when we look at how do we serve that demographic of millennials, we need to make sure when they travel with us, it's time well spent. That the experience they get is really, really what they're looking for. As you mature in age, and as you mature in your career progression, you probably have more time, you're more successful, you have more money, maybe you can take a step back a little bit, and that's what this slide says. Gen Xers and boomers aren't as much worried about time because they're thinking, I do have time, I do want to travel, I do want to make that connection with my family. And then the other is that I've been here on this trip since the weekend, and really, really talking to everybody from servers in restaurants to even some of the local taxi drivers. One of the things that really obviously is on top of mind for the local community is how do you protect the natural environment that's here, right? How do you protect what people are coming to see and enjoy and experience? And that's something that obviously needs to be figured out on the local and on the business and community level, but that is a threat. We need to make sure that the environment that people are coming to see, the extraordinary, the unordinary, the pristine conditions that are here in Iceland that people come to see are protected going forward for generations to come. And I know as a stewards of that, you will continue to do that, but that obviously is a threat. As the numbers continue to go up, how do we make sure that what we have, we can help protect for future generations to come? So those are just a little thoughts on me and my company and how we look at luxury, just a little bit different. I hope it was beneficial for you. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it.